Welcome back, guys. Sam from the Footy Gods here again. Talk about our player review series. Next in the series, James Sicily. So we're sticking in the back line and we're looking at the number 2 player from last season. Averaged 113.5. Ultra impressive after starting under 450k. So what a bargain he ended up being if you started with him. I know last year I went pretty early on James Sicily and paid off big time. So really happy with what he delivered for me last year. Obviously there was question marks over his fitness and this sort of stuff, but wow, what a season he had. Okay, so let's go through our formula as we do with every player, and let's decide whether we're going to pick him or not. So we're going to start with scoring, pedigree, or runs on the board. Does he have the runs on the board as a scorer? So let's have a look. James Sicily, SuperCoach stats. So you could argue that there is some pedigree there. You know, in 2018, he averaged 105, albeit from 14 games. And in 2020, he went at, just under 103. From 11 games. So I think the pedigree is there. His ability to score in just his 4th year, he's averaged over 105. So the pedigree's there. So that's a big tick for me. Potential, what's his potential? What's his scoring ceiling? So let's have a look. So last year, highest score of 147. So yeah, not bad, not massive though. So let's go through and have a look. So when I do this, I'm looking for scores over 120, 130. So let's go scores over 130. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the last game of the year. So only 4 scores over 130. So not a huge ceiling on Sicily. Yeah, he can bust out a 147, but that only happened. He went over 140 twice. So it's not too bad. But it's a pass mark. But the ceiling isn't massive. Like, he's not going to bust out a 170. I don't think anytime soon. The big win for Sicily is his consistency. So big tick from me. So let's go through and have a look at his scores from last year in terms of the consistency. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 scores under 100 and only 2 scores under 90. So hugely consistent. Big tick from me. So that's what you're paying the dollars for. $6.24. But if you get a guy that worst score is going to be 84 and generally is going to break 100 for you, that is a big win. So consistency is one of his big strengths, which is what you want for a primo like that. His scoring trends, so are they trending upwards? So again, let's look at his previous scoring. Started off pretty decently in his 2nd and 3rd year. He's trended upwards here. I would say yes, he's trending upwards. 105 in his 4th year. Had a little bit of a down year, 2019. Bounced back in 2020, albeit with obviously an injury-affected season, but clearly improved on his average there. Missed a bit of footy, and then big trend upwards there, 113.5. So big tick for me there. Age demographic, yep, he's right in the perfect age demographic. I would say late 20s. I would imagine 28. Yep, perfect. Tick for me. And VCC option. So yes, big tick. He is a great VCC option. We know he can score 130, 140, and we know that he is pretty reliable. If we have to get a captain to score, we can sort of rely on a 120, 110 plus there. Not as much of a tick as a Jack Sinclair. He had more consistency. He would never really drop below 100. So he gets a tick, but not as much as some others. Tenure. So job security, yep, that's a tick. Captain of the club. Not going to miss any games. So this is the big one here with Sicily. Injuries. So we know 2021 and half of 2020, he missed with a pretty serious injury, but it was a knee injury. So yeah, hadn't played football for a year and a half. Yep, bounced back nicely. Played every game last year, but there still has to be some question marks over his injury history. So just slight question mark. I mean, last year he really proved washed away all the doubt for me, but there's just a slight question mark. Role, I don't think that's going to change. Potential. I mean, does he play more accountable? Kick-ins. It was frustrating last year. He didn't take as many kick-ins either, and he still scored really well. So if he gets more kick-ins, he could even score more. So that's one to watch. Coaching. Nah, I don't think so. I think we saw how Sammy Mitchell wants to use him last year, so I think that's okay for me. Onto his price. So yeah, he's pretty expensive. It's a lot to pay for one player in your back line. Value, I mean, there's not great value there. I mean, you're obviously paying for the primo pick, so not really great value. But he's a keeper, obviously. Yep. So he's going to be a top 6 defender, you'd imagine, all things being equal. So that's fine. Team structure, does he fit into your defensive structure? Again, like all of these picks, 600 plus K. It's a lot to spend on a defender. So you've got to make sure that if you are going to fork out that cash, it's not going to be taken from somewhere else important. So just be aware. Be aware here. He's a lot to pay for. Risk reward. I mean, there's a lot of risk in terms of the price, but there's very little risk in terms of what you can expect. So I think it's a tick. I think it's not really much of a risk reward pick. I mean, with his injury history, maybe, but I think he'll be a pretty good pick this year. Let's go through and look at his fixture. Haven't had a look at his fixture yet for the Hawks. So we'll go through and look at this together. So we sort of want to look at his first 8 to 10 games. Get a good idea of what we're looking at. So Essendon, Sydney, North, Geelong, Giants, Adelaide, Bulldogs, Freo, Melbourne, and West Coast, Saints, Port. So not bad. He's only got, so Sydney, Geelong. I mean, in the first 6 weeks, he's only got, 2 sort of tough teams. So pretty good fixture. Pretty good fixture overall. And we'll go down and see the rest of it. Yeah, it's not too bad. But pretty good start to the year. So that's a tick from me. Well, just a tick. So pretty handy fixture. Not going to get tagged, that's fine. Ownership. So let's have a look at his ownership. I know he's pretty popular. Yeah, 27%. So second highest premium defender behind Tom Stewart. Unsurprising. I think he's a great pick, so that doesn't surprise me at all. So there's a lot less risk involved in this pick at the 27%, as there is in the Jack Sinclair pick, 9%. So yeah, 27%. So you're not really losing too much there to the field, which is good. Do you like watching the Hawks, the team? I mean, I hate the Hawks, so that's sort of a reason why I don't want to pick him. But if you're a Hawks supporter, then I'm pretty sure he'll be one of the first picked in your team. So that always plays a part. And what's your gut feel? What's your gut feel on Sicily? My gut feel is he'll be a great pick. If it weren't for me being a Geelong supporter, I probably would pick him over Tommy Stewart. But, just the 20 odd K you save, and obviously even less risk involved with the 40%. And being a Geelong supporter, I'm going to go with Tommy Stewart. So that's my gut feel. But I mean, for me, Sicily is a pick. Go for it. I love it. Lock it in, lock him in as your D1, and build your defense around him, because there's no reason why he shouldn't really be able to back up what he did last year. There's upside. If he gets more kick-ins, there's upside there. So I like the pick. Back it in and build your defense around him. I'm not going to do it because of Tom Stewart, but James Sicily, great option, and I couldn't blame you for doing it. So it's a yes from me. I love James Sicily. Go for it. Let us know what you want to see next. Thanks, guys.